Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and it is time for another episode of Coffee and MTG, the live show where you got questions, I've got answers. Give me questions in the comment. Well, we usually do a Q&A, but today we are going to have actually a special guest, followed by a Q&A. We are going to have a very special guest that is going to talk to us about modern elementals. So wherever you are in this world, brew yourself up a cup of coffee or a cup of magic and join me for some wonderful magic discussion. And please let me know in the comments. Leave me a comment if if the stream is up, because I have no idea if it is. I'm having a lot of technical difficulty this morning. All right, and Corian Nero says yes, it is. All right, we're live. Finally, I don't know what was going on before, but we are having some trouble. So today we are going to be doing things a little bit differently. We have a wonderful special guest that has been mastering a deck that sees like almost no presence in Modern, but is going to see some presence after hopefully this interview. And that archetype is 5-color elementals. You've seen 5-color humans. You've seen 5-color slivers. But have you seen 5-color elementals utilizing things like Lightning Skelemental, also known as Ball Blightning? It's a disastrous evil card, and it's finally found a home in Modern. So, so thank you very much. Yeah, we're finally up. We're up and running. Welcome. Good morning, Kyoka620. And also Encorian Hero, thank you letting me know that the stream is up. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. We're going to have a wonderful discussion about 5-color elementals. If you're excited about this deck, you should. If you're not, you're going to at the end of all of this. So I would love to introduce our special guest, Tribalmast3r. Welcome to the show, Tribalmast3r.
How's it going, buddy? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. And I'm as a tribal player myself, I'm very excited to hear about other tribal decks that are sprouting up. I mean, there are millions of tribes, but the only tribes that have any historical presence are things like merfolk, humans, spirits, sort of elves right now. We got like goblins is coming back, but there's like, I don't know, there's like 50 other tribes though. That if you look at the creature list, it's really exhaustive. And I'd love to hear how you got into elementals as well. So just give us a little bit of background, how you fell into this deck.
Yeah, so it started, I was playing humans. That has always been my main deck. And I ran into this elementals deck, and I was 4-0, and I got completely destroyed. I didn't stand a chance.
So I might have been around at the time as well, you know, when they were like vialing in the lightning skelementals and stuff. But I wasn't the one getting destroyed, so I didn't feel as persuaded to go to that side. So let's just dive in. Or actually, before we dive in, I'd just like let everyone know that you play this deck, you stream it on Twitch, under twitch.tv/tribalmast3r. So if with the three, don't forget the little 3 over there. So if you are interested in seeing more of this archetype being played live, don't forget to check them out on Twitch. So okay, let's start off by just actually taking a look. Let's look at your results. Why are you the master of elementals?
Well, there's a few other on here, a few other players that have a lot of trophies too. I currently have 5 trophies with it, and an 83% win rate right now. So, but 1,000,004 ones.
And you've been playing this deck for a while. It's not like it's a breakout deck all of a sudden overnight. I mean, you actually have a 5-0 as late as the late 2019. So this deck is not exactly like, oh, it's well positioned right now. It's actually been played for quite a while. I assume this was during Oko. Oko is still legal at this time?
Correct. Then that's what it preyed on, to be honest.
Hey, I feel the same way. I beat all the other Oko decks, but I had Island Walk, so I mean, I had a natural advantage as a Merfolk player. I'm not sure what this had, but I'm sure you had your own advantages. Risen Reef, all right. So, okay, we need to have a deck tech here. So let's start us off with Flamekin Harbinger. What's up with this thing?
Right, so this is a mid-range toolbox style tribe, and this card is the most important, other than Risen Reef, because it can go get your Vesperlar. Well, it can get anything, but Shriek Maw is the main reason you're against. In fact, you go get your turn 2 Shriek Maw, or basically whatever. Their combo, you get an Unsettled Mariner or your Skelemental. So, or Reef if they're a mid-range deck or a control deck. And basically, yeah, he works really well with Risen Reef, because if you have a Reef in play, if you stack it correctly, you get the card and draw it immediately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And this is just like almost a superior version of Bogart Harbinger, which sees play right now.
Yep.
Just 1 power less, but two mana less. All right, so where would you want to start here? What is the soul of this deck?
So the soul is Risen Reef. It's not even close. And so this card, basically, once you get 2 of them going, you outdraw goblins. You can outdraw any deck in the format, and then eventually you kill them with your your Skelemental, Omnath, or whatever. But this card is the most important, and Flamekin gets him, I'd say, 80% of the time.
Gotcha.
If you don't have one.
It's an easy card to underestimate. Like 3 mana for a 1/1 that like more or less cantrips doesn't look very impressive. But what we've seen from Standard and some other brews, like Risen Reef, can get really out of control.
Right, and when the whole deck's designed to either bring him back, go and get him, or make sure that he survives, you have quite the engine.
Right. So, quick question here. Will you guys be doing deck list reviews today? I have a Goblins Rogue deck. If we have time at the end, we will do that. But I think we're going to probably dedicate most of the Q&A to the Elementals deck today. Otherwise, you can submit it on another day. So, okay, so we've got Risen Reef. What would you say is the next best card of this deck?
Skelemental is the other
underrated
half.
Bomb from Modern Horizons.
That's it, yes. And this card, this is how you beat combo. This is how you beat sometimes your mid-range decks. You play your turn 3 Skelemental, Violent Image, and all of a sudden they have nothing now because they lose 4 cards. And
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you can copy this with Phantasmal Image, and they basically lose more than half their life, and they have nothing in hand.
Right, and he has a best friend named Thunderkin Awakener, and he brings him back. And
that's right. Whenever Thunderkin Awakener attacks, choose target elemental creature card in your graveyard with toughness less than Thunder Awakener's toughness. Return it to the battlefield tapped and attacking. You can sacrifice it late, and you can get sacked later. And this has 1 toughness, so why not? And yeah, this Lightning Skelemental is basically Ball Lightning plus Blightning all in one. Trample Haste, but when it deals damage to that player, they discard 2 cards. Super powerful card. Okay, what next do you think is the most important?
Next most important, I would say, is Voice.
Voice yes.
Resurgence.
This has not seen play in a long time. I mean, this was a staple of the Birthing Pod decks, and even a lot of Counters Company decks for a very long time. Any green-white deck played this card. Now we haven't seen it. It hasn't seen play in like years.
Yeah. So it's amazing because every matchup, you either want to Skelemental them or Reef right away. You basically plan around that. So Voice, when you go to cast your Haymaker 3-drop, Voice is there in play already, ready to go. Right. Also, when it triggers, if you have Reef in play, the Elemental, you start drawing more cards off Reef. So
cool. All right, so let's. I think those are probably all the biggest things. So we have Phantasmal Image to copy basically anything. What are the best copies, like Risen Reef and Lightning Skelemental?
I would say so. Yep. It can be amazing with Flicker Wisp.
Okay.
Omnath, actually, when you're drawing your whole deck, the simple way to kill your opponent is just go Omnath and then copy it. And
when it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to the number of elementals you control. Oh, I see. So you just play it, hit the opponent, then what? Like Phantasmal Image, shoot the opponent again?
Yep. And it's very simple that way.
Gotcha. We got a random Shriek Maw in here, a Spite Bellows, When it leaves the battlefield, deals 6 damage to target creature. But you can evoke, basically 3 mana removal spell for like what, Primeval Titan and stuff like that.
Yep, and it's absolutely amazing with Thunderkin Awakener because you can bring it back and then shoot more stuff.
And get in like 6 damage.
Yep, and the attack. Yep.
Yeah. Get in a nice free attack, and then all your blocks are bad.
And then
so we're also playing with Unsettled Mariner, which is another Modern Horizons. Oh no, what All-Star didn't find the right list. Even humans tried it. Merfolk's trying it. It's not clear. I don't know if it clearly has a home, but maybe it has a home here. What makes this playable in your Elementals deck?
So it's in the same classification as Voice, where it helps your turn 3 play. Like you play him so that your Reef safe, or your Skelemental now can't get bolted to make sure it connects. And that's why he's important. He's also actually pretty good against most combo decks. They have to usually get rid of him before they can do their thing,
That's going to soak up a lot of mana. They got to spend mana to kill him.
Valakut. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Smoke Braider. I thought this was a weird one of in your deck.
Yeah, so that is specifically for you have a 2-land hand, no vial, and you have a Flamekin on turn 1. So it's also good against Blood Moon. It's a way to actually beat Blood Moon, but
you have Ether Vial. You have something.
Yeah, if you don't have it though, you're toast. But this deck actually, it's a lot better against Blood Moon than humans. I'll say that.
Okay.
You actually do stand a chance. But
so anyway, that's Smoke Braider.
Yeah, he's the worst card in the deck, I would say, but necessary.
Usually the 1-ups for me, I just dump them for something else. Anyway, Flicker Wisp. Yeah, Elemental. It's a very weird looking thing, but this is actually an Elemental. So what are the main things we're trying to do with Flicker Wisp here?
So he is the problem solver. Your opponent has Ensnaring Bridge, Worship.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. You need it gone for a second, and then you kill them because you're drawing your entire deck with Reef usually, right?
Right.
So or Lantern, like I played against Ad Nauseum and flickered a Phyrexian Unlife for the win. Stuff like that. It's just necessary. It's also very good with Omnath. Same as imaging it. You just flicker the Omnath.
Shoot you. Flicker. Shoot you again.
Also, there's a lot of tricks. You can flicker Shriekmaw, and then you get to keep a copy of it and trigger it twice.
Okay.
Same as Spite Bellows. Flamekin. You can
get more exactly what you need. Gotcha. Yep. And Vesper Lark.
Yeah, so he's the one I used to play 4. Not necessary. He's terrible in your opening hand. But the reason he's kind of broken is he can bring back Phantasmal Image, which is amazing. You can reanimate Phantasmal Image, which is pretty nuts.
Is that all it does?
Nope. Reef.
1 or less. So Flamekin, Phantasmal Image, Smoke Braider, but not the. You actually have a lot of targets here.
Yeah. Yeah, he brings back Thunderkin. Thunderkin brings back Skelemental. It's just a chain.
Reef?
Yep, a Reef. Yeah, that's the most important.
I beat the Reef! Oh, damn it. The Vesper Lark is bringing it back.
Yep.
All right, so this is all made possible because of basically the mana base of 2019. 18?
Or is it 18? Yeah.
When did Unclaimed Territory come out? I mean, this is basically like the linchpin card.
It's 2017, because Humans came out in the end of 2017.
Okay,
going into 18. Yeah.
Okay, so Ancient Ziggurat, this is 5 colors. So Ancient Ziggurat, Cavernous Souls, Unclaimed Territory. These are all familiar cards. But Elementals gets to have even better mana than, say, Humans because of Primal Beyond. You can reveal an Elemental card from your hand. If you don't, it comes into play tapped. You can add a mana anyway. But add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to play elemental spells or activated abilities of elementals. That's disgusting. Like merfolk, fairies, goblins. Actually, all of these tribes, they got a dual land, but Elementals gets a city of brass
Yeah.
effectively. You know
Yeah.
what? How is that fair? How's that fair? Whatever they got. Okay, so they got a really good land. They're in the same category as Slivers. They have a 5-color land for their needs. So quickly go over the sideboard with us. We have Healer of the Glade. What's this for?
Yeah, so this one's the most embarrassing, but absolutely necessary. We just don't have anything else. But it's really good against Dredge, and it's good with Reef, right? Because it's cheap.
Why
But
is it good against Dredge?
because if you just prolong the game
Oh, you can win?
and get Reef, yeah, it's actually a good matchup.
Okay. So this
Because
undermines like a creeping chill.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you need enough time to get some voices out and like Voice of Resurgence and Reef and whatnot, and then it gets to a point they just can no longer win.
Right,
Also
right.
good with Vesperlark. Bring him back.
Gotcha. Soul Guide Lantern. This is your removal spell of choice over things like Relic of Progenitus, Grafdigger's Cage, Tormod's Crypt. Why Soul
Right.
Guide Lantern?
So I can't play Cage because of Thunderkin,
Right.
Vesperlark, and friends. And
Relic also screws you over.
yeah, I can't really. There's been times where Relic would have been a lot better. So I've been actually switching it up between the two, and
Okay.
they're both not that great, to be honest, in this deck. Like,
But you need something.
yes, I do. Yeah.
The Soul Guide Lantern looks like what you want it to do. I mean, you can
Yeah.
randomly draw a card off of it, and it exiles the opponent's graveyard. You are a graveyard deck, essentially, to
Yep.
some degree. So, yeah, I agree with Soul Guide Lantern. Collect Roof, what's it for?
So Eldrazi Tron,
Mhm.
Actual Tron, the Urza decks. The Thopter combo is a problem for the decks, so he solves all those issues.
Just out of curiosity, do you, from one tribal player to another who plays Collector Roof, do you keep all your vials in post board?
I do, always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. Damping Sphere. This might be for exactly what I think it is, but
yeah. So Amulet, Tron, Eldrazi Tron, and etc. Storm. It's good against Storm.
Yep. 3 Dismember.
Yes, I used to play 2, and then I saw a certain goblin spoiled, and up the count on that because
Those damn goblins.
Yeah. So
those goblins making. Yeah, I need to up my Dismember count as well. Fulminator Mage and Elemental.
Tutorable. Notably, all of these are with Flamekin.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you can go like turn 1 Flamekin Harbinger, and then easily turn 3 blow up your opponent's land, whether it's Eldrazi Tron or normal Tron, or even Amulet, and that's backbreaking. That's got to be backbreaking.
Yep. And if you had a Vile start, you can play Fulminator, image it first, and then use them both.
Ingot Chewer.
Yep, you can turn 1 Chewer someone's expedition map, which is a really big deal.
It is. Like if I counter an expedition map, I've won a lot of games just off of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
They mulligan to 5 for that map. They thought they had it all, but they lose the map, they lose the game. And Shriekmaw.
Yep, extra Shriekmaw. I used to have 2 and then 2 Dismember, but people kept going End Step, Violin, Conspicuous Snoop, and Shriekmaw doesn't solve that issue. Dismember does.
So you've got like, what is this? It's like Doom. You have Doomblade. You have Stone Rain, and you have, I don't know what an art. Destroy target art. Huh?
Shatter.
Shatter. Yeah. And this is your Mystical Tutor.
That's it.
It's Mystical Tutor on a creature. Amazing. Unbelievably amazing. Good morning, Branch Walker. Thanks for joining us. We are, if you're just jumping in, we're talking with Tribal Master, the Elementals Master, talking about 5-color Elementals, a deck you might not have ever heard of, but maybe it needs to have more presence in the modern metagame. He's already putting up the 5 zeros. So maybe the next question I'd have to ask here, Tribal Master, is, what are the key interactions to know in this deck?
Right. So the main one is the Reef plus Flamekin one.
So Reef plus Flamekin.
Right. So if Reef's in play, if you stack it correctly, you draw the card you tutor immediately.
So explain to me, how do we stack this correctly? We're talking Flamekin Harbinger.
Yep.
Switch your library for an elemental card, reveal it, put it on top, shuffle your library and put it on top.
Yep. So you want to you click on Reef first, and then Flamekin happens first.
So yeah, so you want Flamekin Harbinger to happen or to resolve first. Oh, I see. Okay, so you have a Risen Reef already in play.
Yep.
Next, Flamekin Harbinger enters the battlefield. 2 triggers happen.
Correct.
You want Flamekin Harbinger's trigger to resolve first. Risen Reef triggers to resolve second. And so if it's a land card, you put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card on the battlefield, put it into your hand. So this is just a way of drawing into any elemental you need that turn.
Right. And if you haven't played a land yet, you always hit no in case you draw a Vial or whatever later in that turn. So
cool. So what else do we need to know about this deck? Turn 3 Lightning Skelemental, Vial, and Phantasmal Image. Copy it and smash for a lot.
That's one of the ridiculous things you can do. Yep. There's some secrets to this deck. Omnath, if you get some counters from him by playing lands onto Thunderkin Awakener, you can start bringing, well, even one counter will start bringing back Shriekmaw every turn.
Okay.
Which is pretty nuts.
So as Thunderkin Awakener gets bigger, you can start bringing back like larger creatures.
Right.
I also like. Okay, so you can continue.
There's another combo with Thunderkin and Vesperlark. If Vesperlark's in your bin, you can attack with Vesperlark or with Thunderkin every turn, bringing back Vesperlark. Vesperlark has to die at the end step, and if they blocked your Thunderkin, you just bring him back. So it's a free air attack every turn.
Right. Okay.
So, yep.
What I like is also you have some pretty good copies for Phantasmal Image. For example, if you copy Voice of Resurgence, you always will get value off of that, like Phantasmal Image. Like even if they try to kill it.
Yep.
Because like there's no way of protecting Phantasmal Image. But not only that, I mean, you have like there is so much value you get out of it because there's so many ETB effects.
That's right.
In this deck that Phantasmal Image will. It's a very good Phantasmal Image deck. Same thing with humans. Humans is great. Phantasmal Image is good in humans because they also have a lot of ETB effects that you will get value out of the Phantasmal Image even if it dies.
Right. And this is the only tribal deck you're happy about drawing an Aether Vial on turn 8 because the amount of cards you draw with Reef.
Okay.
It's actually pretty insane how bad this deck breaks Aether Vial.
So why play this deck? Whoops. There you are.
So it's really good against any fair deck. Doesn't matter, like any tribe, it has a positive matchup against. Maybe not goblins anymore, but it will give goblins a go if it is a fair fight. And it has the answer to Snoop, especially after sideboard with 3 dismembers.
And do we side in more Shriekmaw? Yeah, we do.
One more. Yep.
Yeah, one more Shriekmaw.
And it has Spite Bellows, which if you get that going with Thunderkin, they can't win anymore.
What kind of person do you think would like this deck? Someone who likes to like draw, like to do like super powerful stuff, like draw your entire deck?
Yeah, anyone who's into a tribal deck will love this because it has a toolbox. But this is not like any other tribal deck. This is a mid-range kind of toolbox deck. Like it's not. Sometimes
that tutors.
Sometimes it has like the really aggro, skelemental copy it hands, but for the most part, it's just turtling up, and then it will beat you by a lot of cards in the late game.
And it seems to like it tutors from the deck, and it also tutors from the graveyard. It has a lot of synergy both in those two directions. Okay, so we went over maybe a little bit about this already, but what are the deck's strengths and therefore the good matchups?
So Jund, the snow decks, that's why it's really good right now. It beats the snow decks. They can't handle the cavern with Reef
combo,
or even Skelemental's pretty good.
or Ether Vial. So like, I even experienced it myself. Like just having uncounterable creatures is very strong right now in the metagame.
Exactly. Yep. Its ability to get out of like Flicker Wisp and being able to tutor Flicker Wisp can get you out of just about any problem the deck could face.
Right.
And then
you said it has a good matchup against Jund. Is that just because you just grind it out so well?
Yeah, it just the top of your deck could have a Vesperlark or just something that'll bring you right back into the game, right? Vesperlark brings back Thunderkin, Thunderkin brings back Reef or something like that.
Right.
Or vice versa.
There's so much card advantage here with Risen Reef. You can tutor for it with Flamekin Harbinger.
Right.
And we all know you can't Thoughtseize the top of your deck. that has protection from Thoughtseize.
Yep. Voice is good against them.
That's right. Yeah, Voice Resurgence is a beating. I mean, this is a nightmare for Jund. How about Death Shadow?
It's positive.
Okay.
Because of Voice, Unsettled Mariner, you side out Skelemental, usually. Couple at least.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just kill it, and you might be helping their game plan anyways. So, but they can't beat you drawing a million cards either, right? Like it's
right. I used to believe that Merfolk was the best card advantage tribal deck, and what can I say? I'm just completely outmatched here. This is like the Silver Gill Adepts and Mutavaults do not compete with this Risen Reef, Flamekin Harbinger, Voice Resurgence, Flicker Wisp. This is way too much. This goes way over the top. So what are the deck's weaknesses, and therefore what are the bad matchups?
Well, the weakness is definitely combo, but some of your hands, like I'd say, 50% of my hands can beat combo. Mm-hmm. But the thing is blind, right? Like you're going, turn 2 Voice into Reef. You're not beating combo that way. But if you know they're playing it, you can mulligan. It mulligans really well, actually, because of Reef.
What would be your best starting hands against combo? What are you looking for?
Okay, turn 1 Vial. Mm-hmm. Couple lands. You draw your 3rd land eventually. You go Skelemental, copy it, and then you have a Thunderkin after.
Okay, so Lightning Skelemental. The Bulb Lightning is the main core, one of the core ways of beating the combo decks.
Yep, that's the most important card. The second most important is Unsettled Mariner, because that it does disrupt a little bit and will protect your Skelemental. Make sure it gets in. And
slow them down a turn if they need to target you in order to win the game.
Yeah, it has to be dealt with.
So what makes this deck strong enough to compete in Modern?
It's sustain. Like its late game is better than anyone else's, basically.
Yep.
So, and when the meta is grindy, this deck will beat anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because of
we're sort of there right now too. I feel like it's a pretty grindy metagame. Even Goblins is pretty grindy.
Right.
The only combo deck that might be around is like a little bit of Devoted Devastation Amulet.
Right. And the other reason is Flamekin, just being able to get whatever you need at any given time to win you the game.
I never thought that was a card that I might want for myself in Merfolk. A 1 blue Merfolk that just searches for another Merfolk.
Yeah.
You know what? For Merfolk, that costs 4 mana. We do have a Harbinger, and it's 4 mana. That is ridiculous. Everything for Merfolk is so expensive.
4 mana.
So, I don't know how much you've seen other people play this deck, but what do you think is the most common mistake people make when piloting elementals?
Oh, 100%. I've seen a lot of people, like friends and whatnot, try to play it. You have to mulligan a lot, even down to 4, because the hands, it'll be like 2 lands, a Thunderkin, Voice, Image, like just garbage hands that don't have a turn 1 play a lot of the time, right? It needs to go like Voice into Reef or Unsettled Mariner into Skelemental to be good, or have Aether Vial. Aether Vial is very good. So definitely
the Aether Vial is still good. I hope this is not the deck that like gets Aether Vial banned. I'm telling you, when Humans was on top, I was getting really nervous for like Aether Vial and Cabinet of Souls.
Me too.
Because I'm like, if they gotta ban something from humans, it's not gonna be any of the humans. Like those
Yeah,
are all weird cards to go. And this deck is taking, it's just pushing more pressure on these cards. Not that I think it's still in the like even at the time I thought there was only like a 5 to 10% chance, not a great chance, but like the worry was there.
oh
The worry
yeah,
was there. It sweat me a little bit.
and I had
And like,
foil vials. I was pretty concerned.
well, I mean, there's always legacy. But anyway, here's another basically another 5-color deck utilizing Cavern of Souls and Ether Vial. What is the most misplayed card?
Misplayed card. Probably Flamekin Harbinger. If you get greedy
Skill
and
intensive card.
Yes, if you get greedy and get Skelemental when you shouldn't be, and then you run out of cards. Yeah,
it's so tempting.
It is, but if your opponent has removal spell, now you're not drawing. Like you should almost always get Reef if you can. Or
okay, so basically you said 80 or 90%?
Oh yeah, something like that is you're either getting Vesperlark to bring back Reef because that's better, or you get actual Reef or Thunderkin.
Yeah. Here's a quick question. Against an attrition-based deck, would you go turn 2 Flamekin Harbinger, or do you not take the risk against Thoughtseize or Inquisition of Kozilek?
Depends.
I guess it doesn't matter. If they have Inquisition or Kozilek or Thoughtseize, they would take this as well.
Right.
Maybe I answered my own question here. So you're not actually playing around anything.
Yeah, and usually a Voice and Mariner turn 2 to play also, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hiding it on top is a big deal. Yep.
Gotcha. So don't get too tempted to get Lightning Skelemental. I know I would. What's the most underrated card?
Underrated card? People laugh at Vesperlark, actually. But like the fact that it reanimates Phantasmal Image is pretty insane, right? Like your opponents always have stuff you want to copy a lot of the time, right? So
true, yeah. Yeah, I could use a Primeval Titan over here. Thank you very much.
Other than that, I guess.
You could use more mana.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'd say Spite Bellows. That's been winning me the most games right now.
Interesting. Okay.
Him and Thunderkin work together really well.
Yeah, him and Thunderkin work very well. 6/1 creature, basically attacking.
Yep. He's also the only way to get rid of Magus of the Moon. So, other than Dismember out of the board.
I'm still surprised you're so damaged by Magus of the Moon. Look, you got Smoke Braider, you got Thunder. You can cast things. You can cast this.
Yeah, no, it can still
Ether Vial.
Yep.
You got stuff to do.
Some of your hands, though, you can't do a single thing. But
so here's a really important question. Will I play this deck over, say, humans?
Well, first of all, this deck beats humans.
All right.
Pretty consistently.
Beat them. You play this thing.
Yep.
They are playing very fair. They are a very fair deck.
Yep. And they're trying to beat you with their opening 7, and once you get Reef going and your Voice will prolong the game will help. Like Mantis Rider's an issue.
Right.
But you can go get Shriek Maw and kill it, or Spite Bellows. And also that combo of Spite Bellows and Thunderkin, they can't beat that. So an Unsettled Mariner protects from Reflector Mage. So you have a lot of game against other tribal decks. And yeah.
Sweet. All right. That's awesome. So I hope everyone enjoyed that wonderful primer on 5-color elementals. Maybe this deck can take it to another level if people can start playing it themselves. Because obviously it seems to have just as much game as other powerful tribal decks like humans, but it just hasn't been given the spotlight that it deserves. And this does look like a pretty tuned, refined deck. And I mean, all the logic is there, and these are all very powerful cards in today's metagame. Let's not underestimate, Ether Vial and Cavern of Souls getting around things like Chalice of the Void from Eldrazi Tron, and the counterspells from the Snow control decks and the Urza decks. So, against, like, in my opinion, the top 3 decks in the metagame, this deck has some solid core advantages against it. So if there's anybody who has any questions for our guest, please let me know. Give us some questions. If you have any questions about elementals, we are gonna take them. You got an elementals master at your fingertips. Where's Slitherwisp? It's not. It's more for a flash deck than anything else.
Slitherwisp.
I think I'm thinking of the right card. The flash deck.
The blue black. Yeah, I played against that.
So here's the question: how does it play against Infect and Boggles?
Okay, well, I've cut Wispmare, the evoke creature that destroys an enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play that. That was really good against Boggles, but because you tutor it up with Flamekin and blow up an enchantment, which was amazing. But because I have Flicker Wisp to deal with all my issues, so I had to make room. But basically, Infect, you go turn 1 Flamekin, you get Shriekmaw, kill their elf or whatever. So it can deal with the common issues against it, and 3 Dismember out of the board plus an extra Shriekmaw should help. But Boggles might be a problem now, but I don't run into Boggles very often, so I'm not too concerned.
Not a popular deck. Well, the thing with Boggles, the way I feel about it is, it's probably like a 50-50 deck against literally everything.
Yeah.
You're just naturally not, because the deck will fail to itself like a pretty large percentage of the time. So yeah, if nothing else, you just hope that they mulligan a 4 or something like that.
Exactly. Yep. Also, Skelemental's good against Boggles. Like it's no joke.
Oh yeah, that's right. So what would you say your matchup is like against Infect? Like, is a good matchup, even matchup?
Much better than humans.
Okay.
Is what I noticed. Because of Flamekin just being able to tutor Spite Bellows. Once again, they can't beat Thunderkin and Spite Bellows together. Mm-hmm. But you have some really bad cards like Unsettled Mariner. Reef's okay, but if you hit them with the double Skelemental or something like that, or have Thunderkin plus Skelemental, you have some game, right?
Right.
And Omnath's another removal spell, right? You can shoot their stuff.
So I don't know. I don't know if Reform one Trick knows the context, but what's your biggest counter just got here?
Biggest counter? Oh, like deck I don't want to run into? Like,
I guess so. Well, let's just go with it. Let's go with that.
Storm, probably.
Storm just can't interact with it. You gotta have basically you need 3 Unsettled Mariners on the battlefield.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Out of the last 4 times, I think I've beat it 3 out of 4 times.
So it's not bad.
To be honest, yeah. Because you can Shriekmaw their guy, and then you Skelement, and then if you have, you have Thunderkin. Yep.
They need those rituals.
And you have Damping Sphere in the sideboard, Soul Guide, Lantern. So yeah, you actually have some game there.
The Christmas gift. How does Merfolk have to play to beat you?
Just by being too fast. That's one weakness of the deck. If Merfolk has a vile start and they're just so fast, they will beat you. And also
you have a lot of
Spreading
1
Seas.
Power creatures in this deck.
Spreading Seas we can't really beat that quickly, but if given time, we can.
The answer is just curve out.
Yep.
and have lords in hand.
Trickster is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yep. How does this deck do against hand disruption cards like Inquisition or Thoughtseize?
Well, whatever they take, we have some way to bring it back with either Thunderkin or Vesperlark. So, and Flamekin gets the thing they took. So
Thunderkin gets stuff back from the graveyard. Vesperlark also similar situation.
Yep.
So the graveyard's not dead in this deck. Graveyard is actually a resource, unlike humans or Merfolk or even spirits. This is maybe the first tribal deck I can think of that uses the graveyard as a resource. I don't even think Slivers uses it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a key defining difference of elementals over the other tribal decks.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it's very good against hand disruption unless they are a combo deck themselves.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Plague Engineer?
Oh, I can't name a tribal deck that is good against Plague Engineer, so we just try to avoid that one. But you believe it or not, it has like, your triggers still happen. You're still drawing cards, and then 3 Dismember. I mean, that's pretty good, right?
Right, 3 Dismember is great. So if anyone's just joining us, we are here with Tribal Master, the Elementals, 5-color Elementals Master, we're going to put 5-color Elementals on the map. If you don't know what 5-color Elementals are, well, you're gonna have to rewatch this video on the replay because it's an amazing deck and it deserves a spot in the metagame, that's for sure. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. We're in Q&A mode with our 5-color Elementals Master. Wonderful discussion. How does it hold up against Amulet Titan and Mono Red Prowess? Those are the problem decks for Merfolk at Betamax's local game store.
Okay, well, with Amulet, we can beat 1 or 2 Primeval Titans, believe it or not.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot more than I can say for myself.
We kill it, right? And then they have all these zombies or whatever. As long as there's not a million, you have voice. And if you can get Reef going, this deck will beat anything.
So, yeah, we can kill it with what? The Spite Bellows, right?
Yep.
And Shriekmaw.
Yeah, exactly. And then
which can be tutored for.
You just get a huge
Harbinger.
Right. You just get a huge board going. And then also they can't Amulet dumps its hand and then keeps its payoffs in its hand, like all their lands and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They dump all their lands and then they'll have like Summoner's Pact and whatever in their hand. And then if you Skelemental them on turn 3, there goes their payoff card.
Right.
Right? And as for Prowess, I usually beat it. Unsettled Mariners.
What's your method? I mean, you do have removal, actually. Yeah. I mean, again, you have the Shriekmaws, you've got the Spite Bellows, and you can tutor for them. In general, against Prowess, you kill the creatures. They're just spinning their wheels. They're not doing anything. But what other angles of attack do you take against Prowess?
Unsettled Mariner is amazing. Voice of Resurgence, amazing. Omnath's very good against them. And yeah, you can always find some way to kill their creatures, and they just don't function very well without them. So Blood Moon's a problem, I'm not going to lie, but we have some answers to that.
Yeah, just lean on Aether Vial. If nothing works, Aether Vial.
Yeah, I usually beat Prowess.
Why doesn't Elementals get popular?
No one's playing it. I don't know why.
I don't think anyone knows about it. I mean, I just learned about it this morning, basically.
I made a Facebook group for it. The first one. There was no Elementals Facebook group, so I'm trying to make it popular, and I'm streaming it and whatnot. But I've played Humans for years. I do think it is better right now than Humans.
All right. From a former competitive Humans player, he's given the nod to the Elementals. How important is Risen Reef?
It's the spine of the deck. It's the most important card.
Seems like the soul.
Yeah. And the whole deck kind of supplements Risen Reef, like voice and Mariner, like ways to protect it and bring it back, like Vesperlark and Thunderkin both bring him back. So,
So you already answered Prowess, but how well does it do against Burn?
Well, Healer of the Glade in the sideboard. It's okay against Prowess, but it's insane against Burn.
Yeah,
right?
It stalls for time because it is a 1/2 creature at the very. Oh, sorry, yeah, it's a 1/2 creature at the very least.
Yep, gains 3 life.
Not that bad.
Yep. So that helps, and then so Lightning Skelemental's not very good against Prowess because they have Lava Dart.
Yeah.
But against Burn, it's
especially
pretty
if they tap
good.
Out.
Yeah. They can't beat getting hit by even one Skelemental most of the time. So,
It's
and
like
voice.
saving 6 life almost.
Yeah, and Unsettled Mariner is amazing against burn because
Oh, of
now
course.
Searing Blaze costs 2 more because they're targeting you and the creature. So,
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
yep,
Absolutely. So yeah, we got the tools for burn.
yep. I'd say I'd win 80% of the time against burn,
Well, then it's
at
like a
least.
buy. And
Yep,
yeah, and the mana base that you don't take any damage from the mana base either. Just basically
exactly.
the Horizon lands.
But you know how it works. You always draw your canopy lands when you play against burn, right?
Yeah, and you're always
Two.
on the draw too.
Yeah.
And you don't have Vial for some reason.
Yep. And they have Eidolon.
Okay, so what are the scariest sideboards against you?
To play against. So Plague
Yeah.
Engineer is public enemy number 1.
Yep.
Actually,
Blood
you know
Moon?
what? No, Torpor Orb. It's unbeatable.
Oh yeah, okay.
Actually, you know what? I was 4-0 a couple days ago, and I run into Lantern game 1.
What the hell is going on here? You're the second person to tell me that you played against Lantern Control in 2020.
It had like Urza in it. It was insane. But he went Stirrings. Turn 3, he went Stirrings, slammed a Torpor Orb, and I could have puked. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So that's one. Plague Engineer, and then like I guess Anger of the Gods, because it exiles is actually like pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But Verdict's fine. You can beat 3-4 Verdicts a game. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But Anger's good. Yeah.
The Christmas gift. What would you say is this deck missing to take it over the top?
That's an easy one. A Champion of the Parish. That's an elemental.
Don't we all want a Champion of the Parish?
I know, right? You do too. We
all want a Champion of the Parish.
Yep. Or
we just need that early game pressure. Maybe they could ban that from humans and make it fair. Like, seriously, screw that card.
Or like a Mausoleum Wanderer would be, even a Curse Catcher. I'll take it.
Hey, you want Curse Catcher? I'll give it to you. Give me the. I would gladly exchange Curse Catcher for Flamekin Harbinger in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
If I could like sculpt the top of my library.
But that's the main thing. I can't think of like maybe like a Kite Sail Reboot or Meddling Mage type of card too, like just to make it do a bit of everything. You know what I mean?
Maybe quick follow-up question. If you did get the card that you wanted, what's the weakest card in the deck that you would take out?
So Smoke Braider, not very good.
Right. It's already on a lifeline. It's a 1-of in the deck.
Filler, and then probably Unsettled Mariner, maybe.
Okay.
Or like
maybe that go to the sideboard or something.
Yeah, something like that. And then if it's a cheaper card, I can cut a land and play 19 lands just like humans. Okay. I wanted to, so yeah.
But they play with Noble Hierarch.
That's true. That is true. I don't know. But yeah, definitely Smoke Braider.
Let's we'll discover it. What are some good elementals you wanted to run but they didn't make the cut? That's a nice question.
That's a great one. The 3-mana Lord, what is his name?
Can you give me names?
You pay 2, it puts an elemental in, gives it haste.
Does anyone know what he's talking about? Pay 2, put into play haste. Maybe there's an elemental player out there that can help us in the comment section. Here, while we wait for card names.
Oh, Incandescent Soulstroke is like close. You could play 1 Lord in this deck. It wouldn't be
Incandescent what?
Soulstroke. Soulstoke, actually.
Oh. I can't find this card. Maybe I'm not spelling incandescent right.
Incand. ES.
Yeah.
You got
it? We got it.
Yeah, this guy's
in all his glory. Beautiful art.
So the reason you can't is you can't really pay the red. Primal Beyond can.
So it's a Lord, which is nice.
Yep.
But yeah, it's basically a 5-color mana base.
Yeah. And
no, but one of your lands can do it.
Primal Beyond, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Canopy lands. So I guess
And you can put an elemental creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Gains haste and sacrifice it.
Yeah,
Who cares?
uncounterable, notably. Like that would be
That's
the
right.
reason for this thing.
Okay. What else? Or is that the only spicy one?
There's everyone's playing the 5-mana blue guy. If you evoke him, you draw 2 cards.
Mole Drifter?
Mole Drifter. Yeah, I wish I could play that, but I don't think it's very good.
This is like a cube card.
Yeah, like literally everyone else is playing this. And I don't think it's very good.
But that's what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is really tough. This is like the same problem humans has. Any suggestions for a budget version, or at least a replacement for Cavernous Souls?
Is Reflecting Pool that much cheaper? I don't think so. I think those are like $20, aren't they?
Well, Cavernous Souls is like $80, so or $80 in Canadian.
Or you could just run Mana Confluence or
City of Brass.
You do need a gold land. I will say that you do.
Yeah,
because
there's no good dual land to fill the slot. You already spent those on the Horizon slots.
That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, you absolutely need some sort of something else. Like it's a 5-color deck. Like when it's a 5-color deck, you need those lands. And that's why those lands are so expensive. There's just no way around them. Yeah. Cavernous Souls is uncounterable City of Brass when you compare it like that, and it doesn't deal damage to you. Like that's how ridiculous that card is. City of Doors says, I played 3-color elementals for a while now, which I love, but I didn't know about the 5-color elementals until about 5 months ago. Interesting. Same time that he started making 5-0s.
That's right.
5 colors is so much better, but it seems like it should be much more cumbersome than it is. Well, more people got to make it popular.
Yeah. Exactly. I got to win something big with it.
Yeah, just make a top 8 and like... Well, you know what? I'll just say you just have to do more stuff like this to get it get people aware. Awareness is everything. Is it worth it to board Graveyard Hate against you?
I would say if it's something like Relic that draws a card also, it just seems free to me. But full out like Rest in Peace, you're still gonna get buried by Risen Reef. So yeah. I don't think it's worth it there.
It's just like the graveyard is just the backup plan. It's not the primary plan.
Right. Yeah. You're still playing against Skelemental and whatnot, so.
What are your thoughts on Glare Wielder?
Bring it up. What is this?
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's an elemental. It's an elemental, all right. All right. 5 mana, haste, 3/1. Enters the when it comes into play, up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn, but you can evoke this for 2 mana.
Yeah, it'd be good with Thunderkin.
Do you have trouble pushing through damage?
No, you do it kind of all at once when you kill your opponent. And blocking Skelemental's not very good anyways, because it has trample and whatnot. So yeah, no, if this deck got more aggressive, you'd definitely consider this because of Thunderkin and whatnot. Cool. If we gained like that Champion of the Parish we were talking about, the card we're missing, for sure.
Everyone's missing. By default, all the tribal decks should have a Champion of the Parish.
Yeah, why not?
Just, it's like make it happen, Wizards. Put everyone on even footing.
Be nice.
What else do we have here? As a toolbox deck, isn't Goblins better with their combo?
Maybe, but the thing is, the end game with Elementals is even better than Goblins, like much better.
Yeah, the
draw
fair
a
plan
million.
just goes way over the top.
And yeah, exactly. Like my 1 mana tutor, like theirs costs 3 to tutor something. You know what I mean? I have it for 1 mana. So,
Gotcha.
but maybe now. Yeah.
Okay, so that is actually going to be it for today. Those are all the what's it called? I think we've run out of questions for 5-color elementals, but also I need to take my lunch break. So we're going to thank our special guest, Tribal Master, giving us the insight, the knowledge to 5-color elementals. And yeah, beautiful list, beautiful deck. I really appreciate you coming on, telling us about this archetype, because this looks like this could be an archetype for Modern that does not look impossible to play, and also is very powerful, very, very powerful. So there are some decks that require a high level of like I don't know, experience and skill to get any value out of the deck whatsoever. And I think this deck can get a lot of value even out of a beginner just picking up this deck. Maybe one more question from myself before we finish this day off. What is what's it called? How difficult do you think this deck is in terms of like how long do you have to play it till you're like relatively proficient with it?
Oh, a month or two.
Okay,
It's
so you
actually
just have to
pretty
still take
hard.
some time. Okay.
Only because of the stack, really. The stacking's really annoying to play with, and you have to do it, properly, right?
Is it easier than in paper than online?
No, online's way easier. Like,
Okay.
paper's insane, dude. When you have 2 reefs going, and like you'll get
So
overwhelmed.
mostly the skill is learning how the stack works with Risen Reef.
Yeah, that and the Thunderkin, and just like there's a million little tricks. Like when your Spite Bellows dies because of your Thunderkin, if you stack it correctly, you can shoot your Skelemental. That's gonna die anyways. Stuff like that. Rather than, because otherwise, if you stacked it wrong, he would kill your own Thunderkin. He has to shoot something.
Right,
Stuff like
right.
that. Just little tricks and whatnot. And there's one more thing I wanted to say,
Sure.
Nikachu, about the goblins versus elementals. They don't have Skelemental, and Skelemental's huge game against combo.
Everyone's
Too,
trying to
right?
break Skelemental in a lot of ways. Finally, we do have the deck that
Yeah,
actually breaks this card.
like that card is nuts. And I'd compare going Skelemental Image It on turn 3 with your Vial. I'd compare that to the Snoop combo. I mean, their
Right,
hands
right.
emptied. They take 12. If you have Thunderkin, you bring them back again anyways. Like, it's just as good, in my opinion.
Awesome. So that's all I have. That's all the time I have here today. So if you want to learn more about 5-color elementals, go follow Tribal Master. And if you want a link to the deck list that we talked about today and all other stuff, go check it out in the description below for those on the replay. So yeah, I'd like to thank our guest for coming out. And I'd like to thank everyone else who showed up today, who joined us in the discussion. It was a great discussion, and we learned something about Modern today. There is a hidden archetype. There's tons of hidden archetypes that just like does not like rise to the top. It's hard for people to get to notice it, because you might see like 5-color elementals in the 5/0 dump and like, maybe it got lucky, and then you don't see it again for like, I don't know, another few months, and you just don't think about it. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. And of course, if you want to support the show, or if you want to, I would just like to remind everyone that we do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. If you want to support the show, you can either support me on patreon.com/NikachuMTG or subscribe. So thanks everyone for watching. This has been Nikachu, Merfolk Master, here with 5-color Elemental Master, Tribal Master, talking about elementals in Modern. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.